Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Touching You Talk Show. I am Elder Sheila, and I have a very special guest with me today in the person of Kia Whitney. How are you today, ma'am?
I'm good, Elder Sheila. How are you?
I'm doing good. So I like to ask my guests how long have we known each other? we
Um, well, maybe we just met back in May, so a couple of months now. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I had the pleasure of meeting her after she won a contest at the Outpouring Women's Conference. Oh my goodness. She
Yeah.
was the I pitch winner. You had an opportunity to pitch your business and you ended up being the winner. So tell me, how in the world did you get hooked up with the Outpouring Conference?
Well, um, I got introduced to Pastor Sonia Dickerson during the pandemic. I had lost my job during the pandemic, so I was trying to find, things to keep me, involved, keep my mind, growing and learning and all the things because we know during the pandemic we were all shut in, and so it wasn't too much socializing and all of those things. And so I am always trying to develop myself and learn different skills and things like that. And so I registered for a virtual class through the CNM, which is it's a nonprofit organization that offers free professional development. Well, not free. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, but they offer professional development to the community. And so, in this particular class that I signed up for, it was all about nonprofit management, and so that's a lot. That's really what my background is in. It's in social services, specifically working with youth in the community and in the schools. And so, I Pastor Dickerson was actually in that class with me, and so I got introduced to her conference and all of the things that she's doing in the community and the church, all of that during the pandemic. And she actually wanted to stay in touch with me after the class was over. And she said, I want to invest in your business, I want to invest in you. And full circle moment, back in 2021, here it is 2026, and I ended up being a part of her pitch competition. So yeah.
That's beautiful. And she's a wonderful woman of God, and she believes
She
in
is.
sowing into other women and investing in the lives of other women. And that's one thing that I really appreciate about her. So tell me
Yeah.
about you. Who is Kiwi? Where are you from? Kiwi,
I'm a,
Kiwi, Kiwi. Okay, hold on, hold on. So Kiwi stands for Kia Whitney, right? Or Kia
so
Weddings. What does Kiwi stand
so
for?
so So it is part of it is my initials, yes, Kia Whitney, but Kiwi actually stands for Classy Incorporated with Inspiration. So that's the acronym. That's what it is. But just a little bit about me, and I'll talk about the business. But I'm originally from Chicago, so I'm a Chicagoan. So shout out to all the Chicagoans that are streaming in on tonight. So yeah, I'm originally from Chicago, born and raised. I moved here from Chicago in 2018 and moved here. My job actually relocated me here at the time. And I've been here ever since. And it has been a great journey. It's been a great experience. But I'm someone who loves to serve. I love ministry. Since I've been here in Texas, I became a ordained minister and then eventually an ordained elder. So I am also an elder within the ministry. So I just have a heart for people. I love to make an impact in people's lives. And I have a full-time job as well, and so I do that all day, every day long, working in the community and giving back and things like that. So, and I grew up that way. My parents were like that. My grandmother was like that. So I saw that modeled at a very young age, and it just stuck with me, and it has pretty much formed me into the woman that I am today because I had those individuals model what it looks like to be a servant.
That's beautiful. So, which weather do you like the most? Do you like Texas or Chicago?
Right now, I like Chicago because it's so hot. It is too hot outside. But I kind of like both. I do sometimes miss the cold and miss the snow at times, especially during the holiday. But I often go home. I was home in June. I went home for an event with my family, and then I'll be going home again in September. So I will get a little bit of that coldness when I go home in September. So yeah.
Okay. Well, tell me about Kiwi weddings and events. How did it get birthed? Where did that come from?
Yeah, so it really got birth really during the pandemic. But prior to the pandemic, like I said, my grandmother and my mother, like I come from a family where we believe in hospitality, hosting, all of the things. And so at a young age, I also can remember my grandmother. She used to always want, we always had, like, her place was the place that the family would go for the gatherings, right? So whether it's birthday, whether it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of the things, we always went there. But I would always remember her like setting the atmosphere for the family to come and gather and just have a good time. And she would always have me kind of like set the table, like with the whole table setting and making everything look really pretty and things like that. And also during that time, my grandmother, she was also pouring different things and lessons and things into me. And so, like I said, those things kind of stuck with me throughout my adulthood. And when I was, growing up, I always wanted to be kind of like the one hosting like gatherings and things like that. I used to have friends, they used to come and we would do little things in the backyard. And I would always be, like a little extra. And I remember some of my friends, they would always say, you know how to host a party. Now I was like in high school and they were saying that, but it's just I just love for people to have a good time when they're around me. I like for people to feel good when they're around me. All of those things. Even now in my home here in Dallas, I do the same thing. And so, but like I said, it really got birthed during the pandemic when I lost my job and I had to find ways to sustain myself because my family doesn't live here. So when I moved here in 2018, I moved here on faith and without my family. I didn't have any friends, anything here. So I moved here with just God and my dog, right? And so I didn't want to go back to Chicago, and I was like, okay, I have to do something to maintain and to live. And so I took a hobby at the time because I was just doing it for fun, hosting little gatherings in my apartment and things like that, down at the pool. So I took a hobby and I turned that into an actual business. And
Wow.
it has just been thriving. I've been, really pouring a lot into my business, networking different places, learning different things, getting certifications, all of those things, to where I can eventually be able to do this full time. And
Okay.
because that's my dream, that's my goal is to do it full time, and also to have my own event center. That's another dream of mine. So
Okay. All
yeah.
right. I agree with every single dream that you have. So you have to be certified to be an event planner.
No, you don't. It's just something that I wanted to do, and the reason why I did the certifications was because I wanted to be more marketable in the field, right, in the events business. But also, I wanted to be able to secure contracts, government contracts, and things like that. And in order for you to do that, you have to be certified as a small business or a minority business or a woman-owned business. So I went through that process. It was a lot of paperwork and things, but I stuck to it and I was able to get that done. So no, you don't have to be certified to be an event planner. it just, the certifications just make you a little bit more marketable, and you have more opportunities with the certifications when you do get that.
So, what other skills do you need to be an event planner?
Oh, um, time management. You got to have that, needs to be a skill. Um, you have to have time management. You also have to have people skills because you're planning events for other people, and especially with weddings, right? Like, brides, they always, their true personalities come out during, wedding planning. So you have to be able to kind of navigate those emotions, and where people are. But you definitely have to be a people person. If you don't like, people like that, and you don't know how to deal with, all of the uncertainties and the things that might pop up while you're planning an event, then you might just want to attend the event and not be a planner.
So what do you do when you have to deal with a bridezilla? Have you had a bridezilla? I remember seeing something on TV about someone being a bridezilla. What? How do you handle the bridezillas of the world?
Well, you know what? I haven't encountered a bridezilla. I've I've encountered a mom who was kind of like, the bridezilla.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So
okay.
again, you just have to know how to, handle people. And over time, I've kind of learned how to do that, how to handle people and kind of bring them back. And so whenever I encounter somebody like that, I tell them, take a pause, let's revisit this, let's take a walk, let's, switch the subject or whatever, just kind of pull away. Because a lot of times when people are, you know, um, in the middle of event planning, or it's their event or it's their wedding, they don't necessarily mean to be like that. It's just they are in a place where they're probably nervous, or they just, whatever is going on in their mind and in their spirit and their hearts and things like that. But like I said, you just got to know how to pivot, find something else to bring them, reel them back in.
So is there like a favorite color? Like someone might say, "Oh, I want to use red." Is there like a favorite color that makes you go, "Ooh, this makes me so excited"?
Um, Not really. I like all color palettes. I dress in all color palettes. There's not one particular color, but no, not really. I try to
Okay,
make the best of, with all colors. The only
okay.
thing I will, let me backtrack. I don't like all black weddings.
Oh,
I've
okay.
seen somebody do.
Understood.
I mean, I've never done one, but I've seen, all black weddings, and I'm just like, maybe not for a wedding. Maybe for like an event, some other kind of event, but not a wedding. Not a wedding.
Understood. 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 So, tell me about your decor. How do you pick? How do you pick what to pick?
Hmm.
How do you pick
Yeah.
what to
So
pick?
I, yeah. So actually, I I tend to pick decor based off of the theme. So if there's a theme, I like to pull, decor and pieces like, from the theme. And the uniqueness about, my business and just my creativity is that I like to custom make certain things. And so even in this business, I'm finding myself to be more creative and very crafty, that I didn't know I had that skill. And so it's starting to really come out of me. Like, I'm in the process of planning a back to school event, and so the theme is Dr. Seuss, all the places you'll go. And so I have been making hot air balloons, like props. So I just like to build things based off of the theme, and not just the theme, but also I like to pay attention to what the client is asking for, and bring their vision, bring their ideas, and all of that to life, because they're the visionary. I'm just the one that's executing it. Now, if they say, "Hey, I want you to come up with whatever you want to come up with," then I'll step into my creativity. But I like to give the client what they're asking for.
And that was my next question. Were your events strictly limited to weddings? And I hear that they're
Mm-mm.
not. So give me like some
No.
example of other events that you plan for.
Yeah, so I do baby showers, graduations, prom, all of the decor for that. I am in the process right now of actually planning a Met Gala event for a nonprofit organization that is taking place on August the 7th. And it's taking place at Live by Lowe's, and it is a really big event. The organization is NCTRCA, and they certify small businesses. And I actually got my certification through that organization. So full circle moment. Now here I am, got certified with them. Now here I am 3 years later, and I'm actually planning their big gala. So yeah, so I do all types of events. One of the spaces that I really want to tap into, which which will require me to really branch out to a different clientele, is quinceañeras. That's one of the things that I would really love to do. I want to do a quinceañera. I just think those are so pretty, and the dresses and the decor and all of that. But yeah, so I don't limit myself. I will do any type of event that I have the capacity to do. And this year, I actually prayed. I said, Lord, expand my business, provide more opportunities. Really just put my business out there, and like let the right people find me. So one of the things that I really prayed about is having more corporate clients. And so I really wanted to tap into the corporate space, and do some events on that level. And I actually did. Where I was able to actually actually got an email this week from JP Morgan Chase, inquiring my services to do their employee appreciation week. So
Oh,
I'm like, okay, yes, God, yes, yes, yes. So and again, one of those that you got to be certified, because it's like a contractual situation. So yeah, I don't limit myself. Whatever God say, um, this is for you. Tap into this. I'm gonna take it.
so how long does it take you to actually get everything like done? How long does it take you to plan the event all the way up until the time to do it?
It depends on how big the event is. If it's a small event, like somebody might want me to do something intimate, small at their house with some decor. That doesn't take long. It's the setup that takes a couple of hours. But when it comes to full planning for an event, it takes months. And so, like I said, I'm working on this gala event, and I've been working on this since I think maybe May, April, May, and the event is in August, and it's pretty intense, but I'm learning so much because again, I'm planning an event for a pretty well known nonprofit organization that is in the DFW area. And so the experience, continuing to develop myself and all of that. And so yeah, months. And I've had some clients, like they'll reach out to me a year in advance, asking me, if I would be available to do XYZ. And so it just, like I said, it just really depends on what it is.
Okay, so if it's like a small event, how much lead time do you need? I mean, I can't
um
call you and say, I need it like next Tuesday.
Well, the first thing I would ask you is what is it that you need?
Mhm.
Because I do have some inventory. Like my garage is my warehouse right now. Eventually, I will need to get a warehouse, but my garage is where all of my stuff is, and so it just really depends on what the client is asking for. If they're asking for like a big, you know 200, 300, person event, I wouldn't be able to pull that off by next week. But if it's something really small, I can probably do that within a week. I've had people reach out to me. They needed balloons. They needed, some type of backdrop or something like that. And I was able to turn that around pretty quickly. So it just depends. And if it's a big event, like I said, I need time because I have to pull together a team. I have to prep, and that's the part that takes a lot of time is prepping for events. So yeah, I would need time for big stuff.
That is beautiful. So you talked about you do balloons and you do backdrops. Let's talk about the services that you provide. Since
Mm-hmm.
you have multiple things that you're doing, let's go down the list.
Uh-huh.
What are the services that you provide?
So decor. I also provide um, full event planning, so full service. And when I say full service, that it goes from concept to execution. So the moment that you say, "Hey, I have an event coming up and I need a planner," so I pull together all of the vendors. I pull together all of the pieces that the client might not even want to deal with, the nitty gritty logistical pieces. I handle all of that. But then if you just need me to come in on the day of an event and just coordinate and make sure that things are running smoothly, I can do that as well. But yeah, production. So like with this gala event, I'm overseeing the production of the event. So that's all of the things that are happening on the stage in the program, and then I'm also curating the experience for the attendees. So I can curate experiences if you just want me to curate an experience, or I can do the logistics. I provide all whatever it is that a person needs. If they just need somebody to manage their registration list, I can do that. I've had experience doing all of those things from registration to um, hospitality to all the way down on the list. Anything related to planning something, I've done it.
Well, that sounds good. That sounds good. So, what advice do you have for that person that may be thinking about it? They're thinking about it. They're just thinking about it.
I say just step out on faith, do it. And that's pretty much what I did. My journey here in Texas has been a faith journey because there's been so many uncertainties that I have actually encountered or had to navigate through. But I stepped out on faith. I invested in myself. I believed in myself. I took a chance. And then also I will say to somebody who was wanting to start a business, to surround yourself with other business owners. That was the other thing too, is I put myself in places where I wanted to be like other business owners. I wanted to learn from them. I wanted to glean from them. So, put yourself in spaces, go network. I'm always going to some networking something to meet new people, and like I said, just grow. And so just like I said, step out on faith. It's not hard, but you have to trust yourself that whatever you're stepping out on, that God's going to really take care of it and He's going to provide it. And if you have a dream or some goal, to put it in the hands of God and just let Him work it.
So, do you have a favorite scripture that you stand on?
Yeah, actually, Psalms 91 has been my favorite scripture my whole entire time here in the DFW area. And we know that's a scripture of protection, and so I stand on that whole entire scripture. But really knowing that the God is my refuge, and He's had to pull me out of some things. He's had to rescue me from some things, and even during the pandemic, like I said, I lost my job and I was unemployed. Before I went back to work full time, I was unemployed for 21 months. I was unemployed for 21 months. It was almost 2 years. But God provided for me and He protected me. I never got COVID. I never got evicted. I always had food. I was always taken care of. And so, and I trusted God the entire time throughout the whole entire, time that I was unemployed. Um, and so, yeah, Psalms 91 is my go-to scripture.
Well, that is beautiful. Okay, so I have put her website out here, and I am going to put her Facebook link here. So someone may be scrolling and they're feeling discouraged.
Hmm.
What would you say to them right now?
I would tell them that God is with them and to hold your head up. Um, don't be ashamed of any of the things that you've had to go through because God is with you. And just trust the Lord. Lean not to your own understanding. We know that, scripture, Proverbs 3, 5 through 6, lean not to your own understanding, but just acknowledge him, really spend time with the Lord, get on your face. But don't be discouraged because God is with you through it all. He's there. And I know what that feels like, because I've had some moments when I was discouraged and I was just like, Lord, you sent me here to Dallas, you sent me here from Chicago to here, and God, I don't know why all of these things are happening. And there were many times I remember sitting in my apartment and just crying out to the Lord, asking God to show me, give me some guidance, give me some direction. And I spent a lot of time in the Word. A lot of time in the Word, and yeah, and that got me through. And so I would also tell them, whenever you start feeling discouraged, go pull out your word, find you a scripture, find something to read. Psalms 37:23 says the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his ways. And so, just trust and know that God is ordering your steps, even while you're discouraged.
That's good. That's good. All right. So I have put the links out there. If you would like an event planned, this be your person right here. This be your
Yes.
person right here. So let's go ahead. Let's reach out. Let's get these weddings. I know there's some people out there listening and they're looking for a wedding planner. And you need someone that you
Hmm.
can trust, someone that you know is going to do a good job. So go to
Yeah.
her website, look at some of the examples, and let's get her booked like right
Yeah.
away, right away.
Yeah. Thank you.
And all
Booked
of
and
you
busy.
that yeah, and all of you that are listening, I ask that you would share the broadcast because we want to get the word out to everyone that there is a wedding planner in town. I did want to ask, how far will you go?
For to plan a
You
wedding
know,
or to plan an
yeah,
event.
mileage. Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you, I went to Florida and planned an event. I went to Orlando.
What?
Hmm.
Nice. Nice.
Um, the client wanted me to come and plan her. She had a set of twins and wanted me to come and plan their birthday party. So she
Okay.
flew me out there, paid all of the expenses and everything. So I don't know if I would do that now. I don't know if I would do that now. But I just within the DFW area. I don't
Okay.
know if I would want to do any out of state events right now. I do stuff in Chicago because that's home, and I do have some inventory there. I don't have a lot there, but I do some things in Chicago whenever I'm home, or if somebody needs me to come home to do something, I will do that.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I appreciate you taking this time out, just letting me pick your
Absolutely.
brain and telling us all
Yeah.
about you. And I'll let you know, if boys come through, and I'll let you know.
Come
All right.
on. Come on, boys. Come on.
All
Yes.
right.
Well, I
Thank
will
you
be
all
there
for
to
listening.
support in any way that I can.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you all for listening. Those of you that are listening on demand, go ahead and share. Let's get the word out. This has been Touching You Talk Show. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.